All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. Lou's back there somewhere. I can't see you, Lou. In the dark. Don't know what... Okay, there he is. All right, camera was covered. All right, welcome on in, everybody. Welcome to the show, NorCal Sports Network. And show is brought to you by Chapman Law Group. Make sure you check out Chapman Law Group in the description of the show. Also, we'll put up their number here. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, 415-613-9483. Got any legal needs? Give Chapman Law Group a call. Tell them NorCal Sports Network sent you. Guys, we're going to cover, I don't know what's going on with the chat. It's all crooked tonight. I don't know what's acting up. Are we, you know what? I cannot read the chat here. Can you read the chat? Oh, there we go. All right.
I can read it.
Okay. Something was on my computer that was all whacked out. Yes, Randy Wynn. We're going to get right to that, MF. Randy Wynn was given the job of VP of Player Development today by Buster Posey. And, I'm not too bad against the move. Randy Wynn was a good little ball player, for the Giants and a few other teams. Pretty good hitter and a great athlete. Randy Wynn being, so he's going to be involved in player development now for the San Francisco Giants. If we took a look at some of Randy Wynn's, and we're going to get to free agency tonight, guys, but this is something that just was announced this afternoon. Randy Wynn hired by the Giants. Take a look at let's just pull up the article on Randy Wynn from the NBC.
Yeah, I have nothing against Randy Wynn, but now the pre and post game show is going to be the worst with Mr. Marbles. He was the only good thing about the pre and post.
Yeah, Randy Wynn. He's.
But no, he was a solid player. Tampa Bay here, switch hitter.
Right. Randy's got hired as VP of Player Development, a new role that puts him in charge of Giants minor leaguers and the organization's efforts to return the days when contributors regularly were coming from within. I like this move. Wynn will work with Senior Director of Player Personnel Kyle Haynes, whose role will not change. Haynes, a holdover from the previous front office, will continue to run day-to-day ops for player development. Wynn will set the tone for the department and think big picture about what we do, how we do it, our goals and our messaging. I kind of like this move. Randy Wynn, he got a chance to really watch the club, from a viewpoint of, as a broadcaster and giving analysis on the game and the players. Now, he's watched these guys, strike out left and right.
Yeah, exactly.
Lou. So, and he's not a guy that, strikes out a ton. We'll look at Randy's stats here in a moment. Wynn's conversations with Posey started early last month when the new boss called and asked if he would be interested in interviewing for the general manager role that ultimately went to Zach Maniason. They continued to talk in recent weeks, and on Thursday, the Giants announced a new role for Wynn, who joined their front office more than a decade ago and has taken on various roles. This is an area of player development that has exploded and grown, and the responsibilities for who is leading that have grown as well. Wynn said, Buster felt there was an opportunity for me to come in. So Wynn played 13 major league seasons, including 5 for the Giants, a run that ended in 2009. Wow, just a year before a World Series. When for a few weeks he was a teammate with Posey. In retirement, Wynn has taken on several roles of his former team. We've talked about that. He was a special assistant to Bobby Evans, who Bobby Evans, by the way, has been on NorCal Sports Network,
3 or 4
as
times.
has, and many other Giants. Dave Dravecki has been on NorCal Sports Network. Former assistant general manager Ned Coletti is a friend of the show and been on here several times. And you'll see more of Ned. We've had ball players like Casey Schmidt.
Hey, Dan, I just want to say something. Last night's interview was awesome. I was going to go to a basketball game, but I wanted to listen. I loved it. You didn't rush him. It seemed like it was never going to end. And he seemed so natural. So I wanted to say thank you for actually getting a ball player. I know being part of the chat last night, I was very excited. Could not have gone any better. Congratulations.
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate that. Yeah, Casey's a great guy. Love Casey. And, talk to him a lot off the air as well. He spent another 45 minutes with us after the show. We just, Casey's a great guy. And
I want one of those mitts.
Oh, man, didn't that glove look nice?
Dude, it was awesome. It makes me now really want him.
Nice, man. I would have loved to have had a glove like that if I, of course, never good enough to play that level to warrant a glove to, but man, beautiful colors and nice glove. And he never took the glove off, by the way.
No, and he told how he broke it in because everybody has their own ways.
Yeah.
He was super cool. Young guy, hungry. I just only hope the success. And as you always say, Dan, I just hope he gets an opportunity.
Yes. Hold on one second. Let me see if I've got I wanted to put this ball game on and I was watching it and I lost it. The Eagle, I got to find my Amazon.
Oh, they went up another score late.
I know they were up 19-10.
Oh, no, 26-10.
Okay, forget it. It's over. All right, let me touch base. I will touch base on that. In fact, you can talk on that when I'm gone. I have to leave here for a few minutes, in about 5 minutes. I thought in that game, 2nd and inches, you're down by 2, 12-10. All you need is a field goal, but you blew it. 2nd and inches, you get cute. Just take a sneak or whatever you got to do. Get the first down, keep the chains moving. You lose a yard on 2nd and inches. Then you lose another yard on 3rd and 1. Now you're 4th and 2. And then you get no yardage on 4th and 2.
A horrible snap. It almost went over his head.
Yeah. What are you doing, Washington Commanders? This is why I'll say this. I think on 4th and 2, Kyle would have taken the field goal. And the reason you would take the field goal is you go up 13-12. And if the opponent scores, you're still in it. Now they score, you're out of the game.
Yeah. And also, when they miss the extra point to only be up 2 and you drive and they had the momentum, you got to take full advantage.
Yeah, you got to score. So anyway, getting back to Randy Wynn, this is going to sound oversimplified, but it's all about the players. And I think that's creating the best version of each and every player. He said, I would love for every player to play in the big leagues and experience what I experienced. The numbers say that's just not possible, but I think as a department, our goal is to take whoever we get signed and drafted and work with their skill set and make them the best version of themselves. I like the move, and I'll tell you why I like the move. It's because Randy Wynn was a solid player, and he knows what it's like to go through the minor leagues, and he's still, in great shape where he can get out there and actually, do some things with these players, give them some, practical, tips, not just, hey, do this. He can actually probably show them still. Randy Wynn, when did he, let me look. He retired. Let's take a look here. I don't know if his last year was 09 or I'm pulling up his last year was 2010. He played in 2010 with the Yankees and Cardinals.
Yeah, he's only 50.
Yeah,
so young.
Hey, we heard from last night from Casey Schmidt and Barry giving him tips in the batter's box, just taking the bat and just, smacking them out there. So let me pull up Randy Wynn and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, we got it there. Let me get that other producer, Ryan. Hello.
Claire, another local boy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, Randy Wynn, lifetime batting average of 284. Pretty doggone good.
Not bad for a switch hitter.
Yeah, 284 plus he stole 215 bags. He can maybe teach these guys how to start working the two engagement rule over to first base and actually steal bases.
Yeah. Dan, that's something we've talked about, maybe not talked about enough, but we led the league in strikeouts 2 years ago. We were third overall last year, but we don't steal. We never take advantage. Every other team in the major league takes advantage.
Yeah.
So if Randy can do one thing, is get these guys with speed to take advantage, learn how to get a good lead. I mean, if we could have all those times when runners are scoring position, first and third, or a guy, take the extra base. And, I think this is a nice pickup. It's a safe pickup, but I don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Randy's an all-around player, so solid hitter. I also like, he's played in both leagues, I think which could help. And, he was, he was a major league ball player for what? I think he was in 13 years. So you got to give it to him.
Right. And you know what I'm maybe most impressed with of anything with Randy Wynn? You want to know what it is?
Solid, good guy.
Well, that's one thing. But for this Giants club, check this out. His lifetime, 14.7%
knows how to put the bat on the ball.
Randy Wynn, 14.7% K rate. Exactly, Lou, you nailed it. Put the bat on the ball. Wow. I mean, he can actually fundamentally help these guys. And this is a good move for the San Francisco Giants. And, you're going to be working with the minor leaguers and, get these guys, start developing guys with contact skills early on. And you know what? If you can't hit the baseball after 2 or 3 years of development in the minors, maybe it's time to move on. Because if
Randy's also choked up a little bit. I don't know if you remember when he played.
Yeah.
So, I sort of like that because it's all about the hand-eye coordination, making contact, putting the ball in play. And, maybe this is sort of a hidden gem.
Yeah, Randy Wynn is very pragmatic and is very professional and has a high baseball IQ, communicates well, and should be able to assist the development of young people. Wynn had a great interview with Pavs. Yeah. Hey, I really like Randy Wynn. He's going to be great for this organization. So good move by Buster Posey. Very, very positive. Yes, I look like Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Giving my signals. I'm giving the all right. Let's get off of Randy Wynn's stats there. Dan, thoughts on Randy? Yeah, Steven, I just brought it up. I think his role is going to be great. He's going to be working with minor leaguers. He's perfect. Guys knows the game, played the game. He's going to be excellent for the club. Barry highlights. Okay, we got some different guys going on in the chat. And hold on one sec here. Lou, go ahead and cover me for 1 minute.
No problem. Hello, chat. I know we're talking about the Giants, and I know Dan's going to be leaving a little bit, but one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is I heard 2 rumors that are actually going to bring all Giants fans very excited for the upcoming season. One is the free agent coming over from Tokyo. If the Dodgers don't get him because they can't pay him enough, the Dodgers are going to get Blake Snell. That should get everybody excited. Snell, a Dodger. That'll help us out. I don't know if you heard about that, Dan.
I've seen things. I've got a video coming out tomorrow, sometime, either tomorrow or next day. We've got videos coming out galore. I'm doing a video on Scott Boris's top 6 or so free agents where I think they're going to sign, and we're going to hit that. And guys, our videos are exploding.
Nice and quick.
Ned Coletti, over 8,000 plus views, guys, on a couple of videos. We are exploding because we're not just a live show. We do the live show, we like to talk to the chat, and but we're not going to be doing 2-3 hour shows, really. We like to do the lives, keep up with what's happening, talk to our chat, hear from you, give you great analysis of either in a post game, tell you what we think, tell you what's coming up. We're going to give you true views. This is a very content oriented channel, guys. This is not a screw around channel. We used to do a lot of that. But we're not trying to, we want to give you content, because ultimately, if you want to be entertained and just have, the content's going to bring you the entertainment plus our good humor, right, Lou? We got some good humorous shows.
Hey, we're going to call me Mr. Negative for nothing.
Yeah, that's right. So Ryan, if you're out there, I texted you. I don't know if you got the text, but I've got to take a short break, guys. Dodgers can get George Curry. Dodgers can get Sasaki. They have no money committed in 25 international pool. They can give him 5.1 million. It's for sure. Oh yeah. No doubt. Yep. And a new Sasaki video coming out tomorrow. Yes, there we go. Ryan, come on in real quick. I need you in here. You can help Lou while run the chat board for him, because he's going to be running the show for 10 minutes by himself. I gotta cut out here. I said I'd be.
You said at 15.
Yeah.
Now.
So I need Ryan, if he's out there, step on in. Okay. I will be back, Lou. You can handle the chat, cover what you want. We're going to be talking Giants free agency, who we think they're going to go with, who we think they're going to sign. I'll be back shortly. Give me about 5-10 minutes, and I got to go finish up something real quick. My wife is getting to bed here sooner, and I didn't get a chance to talk to her real quick about a couple things we got to talk about real quick before she goes to bed. So,
hello, chat. How are you? Hey, so like I said, if the Dodgers don't get Sasaki, the rumor is they're going to get Blake Snell. So that's just another punch in the gut. But I don't know if any of you guys know a particular thing called Fanside. Is anybody familiar with Fanside? Their article is a pretty good article. It basically talks about the Giants, 3 San Francisco Giants backup plans to stay face after the Juan Soto embarrassment. All you've heard is the Giants are going to try to go after Juan Soto. They're going to do all this, the usual BS that they do every year when the Giants have never had a chance at any of these big free agents. They're not even going to get a sit down with Soto. So what have the Giants done? They have a backup plan. Again, another safe plan by the Giants. So again, Soto's going somewhere else. Baggerly talked about it too, said, yeah, there's nothing rumored. So they have a backup plan. The backup plan is, since the Dodgers can't sign Sasaki for too much, the Giants are going to try to get him. But let me tell you, he's not going to come here either. Okay? He's going to probably go to one of the big East Coast teams. Number 2, again, this is Baggerly. They're going to try to go after Hernandez from the Dodgers, right? Who was an incredible 1-year deal. basically played awesome in the playoffs, World Series champion. But again, Baggerly's not thinking. Hernandez is going to the East Coast. So now we're down to our last particular thing, high free agent, someone that Dan has always wanted, and that's, of course, Adames. But let me tell you something. For the Giants to get Adames, there are 3 other teams that want Adames, okay? First of all, the Dodgers need a shortstop. Atlanta, and again, he might stay with Milwaukee. So he's not coming. So the Giants have now come out. There's been rumblings that they might not do anything this year, and they're going to wait until the 2025 free agency class, right? That is something that I have in front of me because I haven't really looked that far in advance. But compared to this year, where really you have 3 stud pitchers and you have 1 stud player and maybe a couple second tier, 2025 is loaded. And I could see the Giants, aren't going to really do a trade. They're going to say, we're going to wait. The Giants, again, the last couple of years, it's all been about safe. I know we always blame Farhan, but it's always been about safe. We picked Melvin, safe manager. I don't think he's that good, but he was a safe manager. The players we got in free agency, they're safe. Hopefully they can come by. So let me tell you something. Today on MLB Network, they went over the 2025 free agencies. And like I said, they're just a couple big names. Realmuto, of course, great catcher. I'm just going some of the names. Of course, Vlad Guerrero at first. Second base, Arenas. Max Muncy is going to be free. Bo Bichette. Who else are some of the big names? Kyle Tucker, Bellinger, Lewis Roberts, Chris Taylor, Azuna for Atlanta. I mean, God, the Giants have never even had a DH. How about Azuna? He'd be awesome. And then the pitchers coming off free agency next year: Jordan Montgomery, Zach Gallen, Cease, Dustin May, Kelly. Who else is some of the big names that people would know? I mean, it's pretty big. And the relievers are even bigger. So I think, Azuna from the Braves, correct, is going to be a free agent next year. So either we're going to have to trade make trades for, trade some of our youth to get somebody, or they're going to stay safe and they're not going to do anything this year. That's my prediction. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm just telling you, the Giants keep saying, Adames. There are other teams that want Adames. I don't think we're going to add anything. So I'm just telling you, it's going to be a rough off season, And I think that just shows you how bad the Giants are. We can't even get a sit down with Soto. What's amazing is I thought Farhan and the Giants, why we signed Chapman is because we get along with the best agent in the business, but we can't even get a sit down. So I think guys were really, really worried. I mean, of the people I've spoken to, who do you guys want? Who do you guys want the Giants to pick up? I mean, is Adames our number one thing? I just don't see the Giants going after any of these guys. And unfortunately, we're going to be stuck with the same crap. Late night Lamont. I don't want him another year. We're going to keep up Yaz. Another bum. It's just getting to the point now where, the Giants got to do something, because me being a season ticket holder and a fan, I don't want to wait another year of being a 4th place team out of 5. Chat, tell me, who do you guys think we can get? It's just come to the point now where I don't see anything. I don't understand why we can't maybe trade for someone like Vlad Guerrero. Get a bat. Get something. So, I don't know. It's very, very frustrating. Bora used the Giants last year, and now we can't even get a sit down. Very disappointing. Bora, Mark Graves brings up a good point. Maybe he'll come last, but I think, Bora's big 6, which I don't know which big 6 he's talking about yet. I think they're all going to be signed by other people. Like we've been talking about since day one, Soto's either going to be a Yankee. I personally think he's going to be a Blue Jay. Why not own the whole entire Canada? He can be a legend there. They've always wanted a big bat. They still have money. They offer just as much money. And if you guys remember with Ohtani, people thought he was signing there. You remember the airplane that was supposed to be flying to Toronto, which was a lie. Some idiot, one of these guys said, oh, the plane, that's what he's on. They got the money. So I still think he's going to get it. But, George, who are we going to pick up? Who? Kim, you think he's going to make a difference? Let me ask you a question. You guys keep talking about, and George, nothing about you, that we might trade Yaz and Wade. Yeah, they're out there, but who would want them? I don't want them. And we're a fourth place team out of 5. I don't like Yaz. He's good defensively. I think he's a below average player, and he's above average defensively, but he's been here for 6 years. He's not a difference maker. Late night Lamont, he had one good year. Last year, he was great in the beginning, but then he got injured, pulls the ball way too much. I don't want him. And again, Adames, I think, is a stud. But guys, Adames, we're going to have to either overpay and get him, go for him now. But there are so many other teams. I think Adames will either be a Dodger, or I think he's going to be maybe one of these teams in the East. You got to remember, guys, these free agents, it's not all about the money. They want to go to a team that they could help get the ring. And none of these guys coming to the Giants are going to come here just for the money. Only Soto would do something like that. Adames is a shortstop. Let me ask you a question. If you're Adames and you can get $35 million a year to play for the Giants, or $30 million a year and play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, what would you do? You had the same tax as California. I mean, my God. If I was Adames and I had my agent ask me, hey, do you want to play for the San Francisco Giants for $5 million more? I'd go, no. First of all, Adames comes here, he has no protection. He goes to LA, my God, you could bat him third in that lineup, and he could be the missing piece at shortstop. And now with Hernandez possibly leaving, the Dodgers aren't missing anything. So you guys got to remember that. It's not about the money.
Kitchen handy. Warriors win against Dallas, but it wasn't impressive tonight by the Jazz beating them as well. Oh, come on, Kitchen handy. That's Stuart, right?
Stuart's getting excited because the Kings have won a couple in a row and they're starting to get a direction.
All right.
I understand, Stuart.
Who will the Giants add in free agency?
I don't know if you heard what I said. I was just talking about a few articles that have been out. The Giants were sort of embarrassed that Soto's not going to sit down with them. So they sort of have a B plan. And then one of the other things is I heard on MLB Network saying that they spoke to someone in the Giants organization and they're thinking about maybe waiting till 2025, which is a much better class deep-wise, and taking it easy this year.
The Giants?
Yeah.
Is this Soto thing, he's never had a shot at joining he's saying he's not meeting with the Giants for now, though, right? Not
even scheduled.
Yeah. Look,
he's meeting with 5 teams. And
I will be putting out
the winter meetings, and he wants to sign by the winter meetings. But
yeah, I have videos coming out, guys. I'll be talking about this with Scott.
And guys, it's just different opinions. What I think and what Dan think are two different things. That's why we're on this show and why we're fans. We all think differently until something happens. Sorry, Dan.
No worries, Lou. I think the thing with Boris, don't buy into this whole thing that he's going to wait. Soto's going to wait and wait and wait. Soto is going to sign next month. These guys, Boris made the comment, well, is it going to be dragged out? And he says, that's dependent on the owners. He's basically saying they got to come to play. And I'm telling you, they're going to come to play with some offers, and the negotiations are going to get into a frenzy, and it's going to be a 3-way, 4-way deal. And some teams are going to be used to drive up the prices. Maybe LA just gets involved to drive up the price. because I think he ends up with the Mets. I think Mets or Yankees. I'm just going to throw out a wild thing that he ends up with the Mets, and it's over just slightly over $700 million. But I think he signs, as George says, I think he signs early in December. I agree, George. He's going to be the talk of the free agent meetings. And I think you're going to see a lot of action this year in trades. I think you're going to see more trades than ever before in recent history in the winter meetings. I think there's going to be a lot of trades that start to happen. I think the Giants will have a couple of trades. I think the guys the Giants are going to sign, here's my prediction who the Giants sign this year. I think they sign Hassan Kim.
A safe one, yeah, it's short.
I think they sign Jack Flaherty. And I think they sign, what's his name? I forget the pronouncing of his name. Yashuki. How do you say it?
Oh, the pitcher from Japan.
Yeah, the lefty. I think they sign him, and it's going to be. Let me see if I can find.
Sasaki.
No, not Sasaki. Not that guy. Sasaki's going to the Dodgers.
Are you talking about the guy who played for Toronto that got traded to Houston?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Sorry.
And
and he was solid once he went. He pitched.
Kikuchi. I have to see his name to remember.
Yeah, he was a great pitcher at the end. 6-1.
Yeah,
ERA under 2. He was solid with Houston.
His market value. You want to see what his market value is? I'll show you what his market value is. This is why I think this is where they sign. Okay. Let's pull up his market value. He made $12 million last year. According to Spot Track, it's about $15 million. 1 year, $15 million. I could see the Giants giving him 2 years, $30 million, something like that. Maybe he takes a 1 year deal. I think that's the area that the Giants will fit into. Another player I think the Giants go for is, as I mentioned, Jack Flaherty. Jack Flaherty's market value is $20 million a year, about 3 years. I think those fit more along the Giants, and I think I want to hear your thoughts, what you guys think. And I just think that's where they go this year. I don't think they add an outfielder. If you want to look at the rest of this particular.
I don't know what happened to Dan. We lost you, Dan. Chat, does that get you excited?
Always hit the wrong buttons.
It's all right.
I had the wrong one. Okay. Here we go. We pull that.
And that would fit in the category, especially them going a little bit lower money. The big problem with that is we got 2 good pitchers. We still don't have a bat. Kim's not going to make a difference. All he's better defensively.
And if you want to know who a third pitcher I think they might sign, I could see them going after a Alex Cobb coming back on a 1 year deal. I think he's a little high priced, but they could fit him into it. So Alex Cobb's projected salary, $12 million. But let me show you somebody else that they might look at here on the pitching. Let's just pull up the pitchers. Let's pull up. Oh, we got the starting pitchers. Okay. I could see them going after how about a guy that I like, but he's got a qualifying offer, Nick Martinez. They're going to stick away from the guys without qualifying offers. And I don't recall, did I mention, Kikuchi, does he have a qualifying offer? Let's see. Where does it tell us if they have the qualifying offer?
Yeah, that I'm definitely not sure of there.
I saw it somewhere else, and I can't recall where I saw it. Chat, anybody know if he has a qualifying offer? No qualifying offer for Kikuchi. Okay, thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Jim Thurkel, Dan, I just got here. What about Willie Adames? I think he ends up with the Dodgers. I don't think the Giants are going to get Willie Adames. I think he ends up with the Dodgers, about a 6-year, 155 in that range, right in that, just north of Chapman. Remember, Chapman set the market for a lot of these guys, for guys like Bregman, Adames.
Yeah, $25 million. These guys are better, so they're
right.
at least going to get $25 million or more.
Yeah. So they set the market. The market was set. I mean, all those free agencies, they're thanking Scott Boras and the Giants management for doing that deal. So, hey, we just went. Where did I just see our numbers? I just saw we had 112 in here earlier, and now it says 64. I don't know what happened.
I didn't see it. Probably because you took a 10-minute break and they don't like me.
No, even when I came back, I was just building something up. Between Twitter and YouTube, we had 112 people in the chat, and I don't know what happened to it.
Maybe they're upset because Candiera got rid of Tom Tolbert today. Who knows?
Or yesterday, yeah. Tom Tolbert. He had his final show today.
I'm not sure. I saw the news today that they released him. That show isn't that good anymore. It's hard to listen to.
Yeah, well, radio's.
Today I was watching the MLB Network again. They do great jobs, but they brought up a great point. For somebody of the Giants that can't get the stud, right, like a Soto, how about trade to get some young guys? And I know we talked about that, but I don't know what it would take, but why couldn't the Giants get someone like Brent Rucker, who the Silver Slugger from the Athletics? He's young. The guy had 30 homers. We haven't had anybody ever hit 30 homers. It seems like forever with the Giants. The guy's young. He has 4 more years before arbitration. If we're going to go young, those are the type of guys we need. And then you build a team around that. Casey Schmidt, you have other guys because, that's sort of what I'm thinking of, because you brought up a great point. The winter meetings is shared because there's not many huge high-end free agencies. There's going to be trades all over the place because really everyone's looking for stuff. So, Bergman, great guy. Giants aren't getting him. I keep hearing things that, Philly might go after him because they're going to have 2 guys they're going to lose next year. The other thing is, with what's his name, 1 year left on his contract, they're trying to trade JT Realmuto. I'd love for someone like the Giants to get that. We got to get leaders. Right now we have one guy, supposedly our leader, Chapman. These other guys aren't leaders. They're just filling the space until we get somebody.
Oh, there's our numbers. There we go.
Are we getting better? Sorry,
okay. I see it now. I just put one.
And Max Fried, I don't see the Dodgers signing him. I think Max Fried's going to the Arizona Diamondbacks.
You think he's going to the D-backs, huh?
Yep. And I'm going to tell you, our division that you guys, where we finished 4th, is going to get a lot harder because the Dodgers are going to be better. Arizona is going to be better. And, of course, the Padres, I know everyone says they always have financial problems. But, hell, last year they were the best team going into the playoffs. They still have everyone back. So they're going to be better, I think. So it's going to be tough.
Yeah. Wow.
And again, I know, chat, you guys all saying that we're going to trade Wade and late night and Yaks. But remember, guys, even if we trade them both, I don't think we're going to get a player that's going to make a difference on our team because I don't think these guys are that good. We had a chance. When Duvall was good, we should have traded him after the All-Star break when we were going nowhere when he started all these problems. Because Dan always brings up a good point. And Los, trade high when they're most valuable. But what we've done is we've waited, and it shows right now with the Giants, with Duvall, we already have a stopper. So trading Duvall, we're not going to get anything really what he's worth because people know we don't need him. It's just not good in the business.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yep. How could I do this? Okay, hold on. How can that save? That's what I got to do.
I mean, if we're going to get rid of anybody, I don't want Flores back. He's not the same player.
Hey, there we go. Numbers wise, 134 right now.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button, everybody. Especially YouTube, everybody watching on YouTube. Those watching on X, make sure you come over to YouTube. Hit the like button if you would. But 134, now 135. I want to see that number go up tonight. Let's see if we could pop the 200 mark again, guys. I know a lot of people watching on YouTube and X. So really appreciate you guys being part of NorCal Sports Network. We really enjoy having you. Hold on here. One second.
Like Jim's comment.
Oh, okay. We got somebody wants to call. Does somebody want to call in? Did we see? Did somebody want to call in on the show? You know what? If you want to call in, we'll take a couple of calls here. Hold on.
And did you happen to see Jim Thorkill's chat?
I didn't see it. No.
At 8:41.
8:41. Let me scroll up.
Very good question, Jim.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. Let me explain something, guys. There's a lot of people talking about this, and there's other content creators that bring out different things about the Giants, and everybody's got a different take on this. And, some people want the Giants to go for it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that take. My take is this, guys. The Giants are not ready to win. They're really, if you want to get right down to it, they're in a rebuild. They're just not saying so. Okay? For the Giants to go out and go get Burns and Snell, for example, and try and go get Santander and Kim and a Flaherty, what a lot of people are looking for this type of thing. They think that's what they could do. Now, they've got about 67 million underneath the luxury tax. They could go out and sign a Snell and a Burns, for example. Now, let's say that cost them let's just say it cost them $65 million a year between the two. Okay. They could do that and stay under the luxury tax. And then they can get rid of guys like Yaz, don't even tender him, move off of his contract. They could save another $10 million there. You could sign a Hassan Kim, and you can move things around, get rid of a couple other players, Flores and Murphy and guys like that. You can make room for a Kim and 2 starting pitchers. All right, now you do that. You might compete. Now, what I would do if you were going to go that route but the Giants are not. Okay. What I'm saying is what will not happen. It's what I would do. I would go out and sign a Burns and a Snell, and I would trade Logan Webb for two younger pitchers or players, not pitchers, two young hitters. Now I've gotten rid of Snell's or not Snell's, Webb's 20 plus million, and I've added two minimum 700 plus thousand a year. So I've really only gone up a little over 35 million in salary, maybe 40 million, right? Because I got rid of 24 million of Logan Webb. And I think that's what his salary is. Okay. Now that's what I would do if I really wanted to win right now. If I wanted to win right now, I'm getting top pitchers and I'm adding a couple of bats. But here's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to go sign like a Kikuchi and a Flaherty and a Hassan Kim. And then they are going to reset themselves under the luxury tax because you reset it. You don't want to go over 2 years in a row. Remember, the Giants went over last year. You pay more penalties for going over 2 years in a row, and in 3 years in a row, you pay even more. And you lose, I think you lose international draft picks, don't you, Lou?
Yeah, I'm not sure of that, but I think you pay 175% of what you're over. So if you're over 20 million, you then owe 35 million.
Right.
You know, it's pretty rough. And if you do it the second time, it goes up to like 350% of what you're over.
Right. Right.
So now
so
you're
they
talking
want
70 million when you only were 20 over.
It's kind of like being in the key for too long, 3 seconds in basketball. Yeah. You can go in and out and you can reset. If you stay in there too long, you're going to get, flagged a one-shot technical. So what they're going to do is they're going to reset. They're going to go under this year because, and the question is, why would you bring in Buster? Look, they didn't bring Buster in just for 2025 to compete for a World Series. Okay. They're bringing in Buster to reset the organization. People who think Buster's here, we're going to win he's bringing back the glory days. You know what, guys? It takes 9 months to make a baby, right? Okay. Well, it doesn't take 9 months to make one. It takes 9 months to cook one. But you guys, it takes a while to get things done. The Giants aren't ready to compete in 2025 because to do so, they're going to have to spend $100 million in annual salaries this year. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it. It sounds like my baby comment, huh?
I mean, babies take 10 months to 13 months to walk. They got to crawl first. I mean, the Giants are.
That's probably a better analogy.
The Giants were eliminated. We're still 2 years away, and they need to admit, guys, let's start over again. Let's get Buster in charge. We got a new GM. We got to take little steps because they still want to be competitive. But I think it's going to be. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough before it gets better.
Yeah. Hey, we're still, it's funny, we're holding exactly between the two. I put this up, it'll probably change, but 134 again, combined in chat.
Nice.
137. It just went up to 137 as I said that. All right, there we go. 137. And
Dan, one of the things I said, teams that made the playoffs are also going after the same players that we might need. I think I look at Detroit. Detroit's not really a big market team. They're going to go after guys that they're going to fit on our scale too. It's not like, just one free agent goes to one team. There's 6 or 7. It's just the way baseball is. A lot of it's luck, and our farm system's so bad, a lot of teams can trade their farm system, to get people. I mean, if I were the Giants personally right now, I would try to make a trade with the A's I would try to trade get the best stopper in the business. Better than ours is the guy from Milwaukee because he's got 1 year left. You got to think outside the box, because everyone's trying to spend their money because everyone has just as much money as us, but they're willing to spend it. And, the way their contracts work. So the Giants got to do something different because the last 6 years, except for one fluke year, it has not worked.
Yep. Johnny Barstow, the new guy in the chat. Thanks, Johnny. I would like to see the Giants sign Anthony Santander. The spelling's off. You're right. Don't worry about it. I do that 98% of the time. He's a guy who hit 44 home runs, and for the Orioles. Yeah. You know what? I think that would be a nice signing. I would be pro Santander, but I don't think he signs with the Giants. You know where I think he lands? I think he lands with one of two teams. This will surprise you. But I think he ends up with the Tigers or the Royals. That American League Central is starting to pop. And don't be surprised if the Tigers pull off a surprise somewhere.
They got money.
Yep. And they are ready to win. They are ready to win. See, what did they do different? They got Riley Green. They got Spencer Torkelson. And they got a couple of other young guys that they're coming up with. This is the plan I want for the Giants. Okay? The plan I want for the Giants is don't go out and get all these. You're not getting Juan Soto, okay? Forget about it. I could see this too. This would be a good guy to go after. Walker Buehler, absolutely. You kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. You hurt the Dodgers a little bit, and you help themselves. Walker Buehler in the playoffs looked like he got it together. And, again, Walker Buehler was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Maybe 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago, before the Tommy John, might have been the best pitcher in baseball. He was tough. Man, he was good. And it takes time to recover, So Walker Buehler, good call. Khalil, 36. Thank you for the donation, for the super chat. George Curry would like to call in. Okay, let's put the number up. Hold on here. I'm going to bring up I got to put the number in the chat here. I got to find, we got all these little, I got to find it. Hold on. There it is. All right. Open phone line. Wait, why is it not going?
It went back off.
Won't go on. Come on. There it is. Wasn't moved. Did it go on earlier?
Yeah, it went on, off, on, off.
Oh, it's my computer. It's not open line. Hold on. All right. Here we go. It's open line Thursday. Oh, don't you? Yeah, remember that open line Friday? Anyway, the phone is here. I've got the phone in my hot hand here. It's not the red phone though.
That phone. It's the damn phone.
So George would like to call in. Go ahead and call in, George. Also, the link is right there if you want to go in this way. Okay, we can come in this way too. And it's George Curry. George Curry, spelled differently than Steph.
Yes, that's because I'm Middle Eastern, and it's the same thing as Corey.
Corey.
That's Corey, yes.
Okay.
We keep it simple. It means priest in Arabic.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Far from a priest, though, I have to be honest with you. How you guys doing tonight? Lou, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you.
He said good. He can hear you, but you won't be able to hear him unless.
I won't.
Yeah.
I won't.
So what's on your mind, George? I love your chats.
Yeah, give us good
Thank you,
takes.
I have to say I agree a lot with what you're saying tonight. I do think, well, there's a few things. It depends what Buster really wants to do. I heard him on the radio this morning, and I really don't think he has a direction yet. I really don't. I think he's just trying to uncover every rock and see what's out there, trying to have 1,000 conversations with the different GMs, seeing what they're willing to do.
Uh-huh.
I would like to see us sign Adames. You know, obviously, I think he doesn't want to just because he doesn't want to lose those draft picks and that international money.
Right.
I think obviously he wants to build a farm system, but I think he's going to sign Hassan Kim, like you said.
Yeah.
If I was the Giants, I do think they're going to trade Yaz. I think they're going to trade Wade. They do actually have some what's the word, value, just because.
Yeah, let me ask you this, George, on Yaz. To trade him, Yaz, you have to tender him.
Yes.
And he's going to make close to $10 million through arbitration, whether you go through the process or you just sign him. Is it worth signing him to trade him? Can you get enough value that way, or are you better off just?
Well, you don't have to sign him. You can just tender him. He's under your kind of like not under contract, but you can trade him because you still have his rights.
Even so if you but if you tender him, you still have to. He's still worth 10.
You can tender him and then non-tender him, I believe.
I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, so if you tender him, I think there's a certain day, like March 1st or something like that you can cut him. Okay, and then you don't have to pay him because if he doesn't sign.
Oh yeah, it's the Jody Davis, Cody Davis, Jody Davis.
Yes.
Was it?
Yes,
what?
JD Davis.
JD Davis. Yeah.
So yes, but he does have value because think about it. You're playing right field in the biggest right field, probably other than Colorado. You're almost a Gold Glover. You hit 18 home runs in San Francisco, even though 10 of them was the last month. But if he hit in Boston or he hit in some small ports like New York, he might hit 25.
Yeah, I think he would be a great Red Sox or Yankee or somebody like the Cincinnati Reds.
So, and he's $10 million.
Right.
He's better than Verdugo. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, he is better than I agree. He's better than Verdugo, better defensively and better offensively. I agree.
He is. He's going to strike out a lot because he has an uppercut, right? So he's got this launch angle thing going with him. But he's an excellent outfielder. That costs you like $7 million to have an excellent outfielder that's going to hit you 15 home runs. He's going to hit probably more than that. With us, because we're tired of it, because we don't have no stars, he has value. Wade gets on base almost 40% of the time.
Right.
So he's going to have value. And he plays actually pretty solid defense. And if he has his legs under him, then he can play a little bit of the outfield.
Yes.
He got better hitting. He got hit, so I would like to see them trade for Josh Naylor. I heard Buster today say nobody's going to move up any levels unless they've earned it.
Interesting. Yeah, Josh Naylor is on the trade market. I think there's going to be a lot of trades this offseason. Not just the Giants, but I think throughout baseball. I think people are going to see that trades, you got to start getting more aggressive. I think if
he doesn't get, Blake Snell, I think he has to get one of those three. Because if he doesn't, they're going to hear from the fans. The Giants owners, there's no owner. There's just the face, which is Johnson, who's the majority owner at 29 or 39%. And you got all these investors.
Correct.
If you start seeing like, hey, there's no, in 2 months, 3 months, there's no uptick in season tickets, they're going to start spending money like what's his name did. Because once they start hearing all the disgruntled fans, they're more reactive than they are proactive.
They're reactive, yes. The Giants are a reactive organization. They react a lot to what the fans say, and especially what happens on KMBR.
For sure.
Charles Johnson, really not Charles. Charles doesn't have anything to do with this team anymore. It's his son, Greg.
Right.
Greg Johnson does not go to the games much.
Right.
He's not even follower. He's only gets involved when the fans. The only reason Farhan got fired is because of the uproar that the fans finally said enough's enough.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, let me ask something real quick, George. Guys, are you able to hear George clearly coming through the mic? Because I've just got the phone held up to my mic. Is it coming through clear?
I hear him once in a while.
Is better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay, yeah. So you were gonna ask a question. I'm sorry.
No, I wanted to just make sure everybody could hear you.
Yeah. I think that the Giants, of course, you got to build the farm system, right? And you have to have the proper coaches in place. I do think they're going to hire probably one of the two, Minor or Ishikawa, as their hitting coach. They're going to I would like to see them hire either Billy Owens or Logan White to be the assistant general manager and director or vice president of pro scouting. They need to get a different voice in that building.
Right.
Right.
I think Billy Owens would be good. Another assistant in there. Absolutely. I don't know if he wants to stick with the A's or,
They need to build their farm system. When you look at Wynn says all the right things on TV, and that's just who he is. He's very pragmatic. He's very professional. He has a high baseball IQ. He knows the game. So I can see him teaching, a lot of the outfielders, the hitters. He talked about, hey, we got to make contact. And if a guy's not if he's just a contact hitter, we're not going to make him into a home run hitter.
Right.
We had a pretty good interview tonight with Pavs on Arnold, basically just saying we need to see what their strengths are and to play to those strengths. And Buster's been saying that. I do think that, there's a good chance I think Blake Snell does come back. If we get bats. If we don't get no bats, he's not coming back. But if you do sign an Adonis, and maybe I don't know if they want to sign both Hassan, Kim, and Adonis. But I do think that if they get a Naylor and an Adonis, and you can always backload the contract. You can always just stay under the to stay under the tax. Is, hey, you know what? We're going to give you 20 the first year, and the next year we might give you 35, to offset whatever. Because he's going to get about a $26 million, $27, $28 million. He's not getting 30. The Mets are not giving him 30 to move. I don't think he really wants to move. I think he said he will if he has to. But my understanding is he wants to play short. I heard Robert Murray this morning say the Dodgers are not looking for a shortstop. They're looking for outfield and starting pitching. So I don't think but I do think that the Braves are our threat. The Braves are our threat.
I think the Dodgers would be best served if they went for Sasaki and Max Fried and called it a day. And maybe they, like you said, add an outfielder. I could see the Dodgers
trade for Luis Roberts. I could see them trade.
Yeah, they got the pieces to trade for Luis Robert. They could move Gavin Lux if they're bringing Betts into second base. I don't know if they're going to, bring back the shortstop or.
They have Edmund signed, and they have the other kid. I think it's Rojas.
Yeah, Rojas. Yeah.
So they have both of them signed for next year.
So that's probably what they're going to do because they've got the bats in the big, and they're going to bring Teoscar back. They're going to and I don't think they will get.
I think Mato starts. I think Mato starts this year
for the Giants.
Yes, I think he has to show that he is allowing some of the young kids to play.
Yes.
So I think Fitz is either the DH or he's going to play second base. I think he wants to make him the all-world utility guy, like you kind of said, like make him the next Chris Taylor.
Yes. My plan. I talked to Casey about this afterwards. Casey, he didn't really comment much other than Casey just wants to play. He says, I'll play the outfield if I got to play. I want a spot in the lineup.
Right.
Look, the best thing the Giants can do for this team, in my opinion, is put Matos in left field, put Lee in center, Ramos in right, trade Yaz for extra piece, whatever you can find. I would first base, maybe they go out and sign a Josh Bell for a season or a Paul Goldschmidt for a season.
I can see that.
And then second base, put Casey there. Go find a shortstop that is, I would like to see him. I like Cody's idea. Go out and trade for Bo Bichette and put him at shortstop. The guy was an excellent hitter. He's had a couple of down years, but gets worn out in Toronto's turf. Go get Bo Bichette. You got Chapman at third.
Right.
Make Marco Luciano your DH. Okay.
I'll say this: Bo Bichette is going to want more money than Adonis.
Yeah. But
next year, because he's younger, he's going to want a 10-year deal. He's going to want 280 to 310 million because he's going to want to get paid at least 28 to 30 million. I don't know that the Giants would pay him.
Yeah, but you can have him for a year for hardly nothing,
No, that guy's job is on the line like Farhan's is.
Well, what I mean is, he's a free agent after next year, Bo Bichette, right?
Sure, but you'd have to probably give up Harrison, Wizenhunt, Doval, and probably Matos.
I don't think you'd have to give up that much. I really don't.
I would like to not think that, but I don't think they're giving him up because we don't have a top 100 prospect to give up other than Tibbs, and they're not giving up Eldridge. So I can guarantee you they probably want at least one top 50.
I would give him Tibbs. I would give him Tibbs.
I'd give him Tibbs and RB too. I'll, gift wrap him, and send them. I would think if the Giants were smart, I would reach out to, and I know you like Casey Schmidt, and I think he's going to be a very good ball player. If I was the Giants, I would send Casey Schmidt, Wizenhunt, and probably Tibbs to see if you can pull Luis Robert.
Yeah,
they get a third baseman. They get a starting third baseman. They want hitting, so it might be really I don't know if they want to trade Matos, but you might have to give up like a Matos, a Casey, and a Tibbs to be able to even like have a conversation with them. And you still might have to throw in
I think, I didn't ask Casey this because I didn't want to put him on the spot.
Yeah.
But if I asked him, I think if I asked him, would you rather
leave?
Would you rather be with the Giants organization and just on the on the 26-man roster, but not playing every day, or secure a job at third base with some other team where you played every day? I think he'd probably want to jump at that. I mean, I can't speak for himself, but that would be my thing, and I wouldn't.
I think any competitor would.
Yeah.
I think any competitor that wants to play. And, there's people, kids like to wear the jersey, right? Some kids don't like to play.
Right.
They just want to wear the jersey. That kid wants to play.
He does want to play, and I'm telling you, if they play him, he will hit. He can give you 20 home runs, 80 RBIs.
Yeah, I agree. He's got power.
He's got
80, but I think he can give you 20 and 60 at least.
It depends on where they stick him.
Well, he's going to be at the bottom of the line. He's not going to be a middle of the order bat.
Right.
He hasn't proven. I think he's got a lot of potential. I don't know Matt Williams' potential, but I did like to see his at-bats at the end of the year. I thought in the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, his bat path was really bad. His pitch selection was really bad, but he looked so locked in at the end of the year, going the other way, being able to turn on balls inside and not throwing his head. He's not pulling his head. He wasn't pulling off the ball. He was staying on the ball, and he kept his hands inside. Once you start keeping your hands inside, you got a much better chance.
Right.
That's why Ramos is so effective, because he can keep his hands inside and he can wait for the pitch to get deep, and he can go the other way and drive the ball because he's got elite bat speed. So does Casey. He's got elite bat speed. The question is that can you pare your swing down just a little bit? That's why, Matt Chapman has such great bat speed, but it doesn't do anything for you if you're 0-2, bases loaded, and you're swinging for the fences, when you got to choke up a little bit, take a little bat speed off, and go the other way with the pitch, or go where the pitch is going, and make that contact. And I think Buster wants contact hitters. I think he's tired.
That's why he's put, and he's also gone with Randy Wynn to become 14.7% strikeout rate over his career.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think he's going to help. I think help Montos, and I think he's going to help Luciano.
Yeah.
I think those two, especially are going to benefit. Casey will too, but especially those guys. Casey can be a big home run hitter. I just don't want to see the next Rob here, where he's swinging from his tail and he's batting, 202, when he has the potential where he can bat 260, 270, 280, if he cleans up his, his path to his swing and keeps his hands inside, and is more patient, he can take a walk. For a while there, he wasn't taking any walks. He had 80 at-bats with no walks. And you're like, come on, dude.
Right, yeah. That was in his first
being patient.
First came up.
Just being patient. Yeah,
yeah.
For sure. So, we have potential. I think they're going to sign Blake Snell. I have this feeling that they can sign him. He's got no qualifying offer, but I also think that in the beginning of the year, and I would do this if I was the Giants, I heard the Marlins may want Yaz. I heard that they may want Yaz and Tyler Rogers. So I'd send them both. Give me Sandy Alcantara. Okay, he's got 1 year left on his deal. Even though he's coming off of Tommy John, he'll be 18 months out before the season starts. And if he can be a third starter, behind Webb, and you got Snell and you got what's his name and Webb, and then I would try to get off Robbie Ray's contract. If I can eat $10 million of it this year and $5 million next year, and get rid of his contract, and I can get some money back, and you can send a box of baseballs back. That's $15 million you have on the books. That's a trade-off. I would try to trade Taylor Rogers. Tyler is very effective. Taylor is not a high leverage, reliever anymore, right? So he's throwing that inning or two, but it's usually the fifth or sixth inning. He's not going seventh and eighth inning unless we really need him. Like you say, put Hicks in the bullpen. I would keep Duvall. I'm not trading him because he does have a lot of potential, but I think his pitching coach and somebody needs to kind of unlock some of his issues. If we do that, maybe Tanner Scott, you give him 10 the first year, just to make sure that, Walker and Duvall are good, and to have somebody that's older that can talk to him about, pressure situations,
Right.
Being in the playoffs. You can do certain things, and you can still stay under the tax by getting Scott and
right.
I don't know if they would get, Burns and Snell, but if you got Scott, you got, maybe Hassan Kim at 10 million, and you got what's his name at 20, you solve your infield defense. But
Yes.
if you feel like Casey is the guy at second base, then let Casey and Fitz battle out who's the best second baseman.
Hey, I just put together a trade here. Can you see the screen at all?
I can't because I'm on my phone. So
Okay.
I don't have the computer in front of me.
Yeah, here's a trade for Bo Bichette. Bo Bichette has a -7 surplus value because he's a free agent and the money he's making. So you really don't have to give up hardly anything. But I gave him Maui Ahuna, Grant McCray, Reggie Crawford, and Joe Whitman. They equal 18. So there's 4 players, 3 starters. Well, I don't know if Crawford's going to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
but
and he's got a torn labrum, so
right.
He's out for the year.
Right.
I don't even know he has any value. So
he's still got a 5.7 value, believe it or not. Same as Joe Whitman.
Crazy.
And but they're young, and the labrum's not going to. It's not.
That kid Ahuna, the shortstop, that kid at San Jose, I don't even think he batted 200.
Yeah.
So, a kid like that, they want major league ready baseball players. If you're going to trade Bichette, who's considered a star, I wouldn't say a superstar like Vladdy, but
you'd have to give up Luciano maybe in the deal then.
You're going to have to give up to Luciano and Whitman. Those guys are not even close to being ready.
Yeah, it depends on what Toronto's really looking to do because they're going to lose. They're going to lose Bichette. They're going to lose Bichette after this year.
You can give them a qualifying
offer. And they'll lose Guerrero. Yeah.
And what happens with those comp picks is that you got a kid who drops down, to maybe close to the second round, and you could pick some kid that could be a top 15 player that may or not want to sign, and you can convince him to sign in your comp pick. We did that with Walker Martin. Walker Martin in the second round.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not signing with anybody.
Yep.
He went to us in the second round. So, they have their little backdoor deals.
Hey, George.
Gerald,
yeah. Hey, I was going to let you get running but I'd love to have you actually be better if you can join the chat through the link in the
okay.
And that way, you can either come on with the video or you can turn your camera off. But then that way, everybody will be able to hear you easier, and then Luke can engage with you as well.
That sounds good. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate the time.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah. So if you want to come in, the link's in the chat.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, George. Bye.
Thanks, George.
Good comments. He knows the game. He knows baseball. He's on top of it. That's what I like about our chat. I think we've got a very educated chat. We got guys that know the game. George is old school. Yeah. I think Ben Bamboo says, let's do some bold stuff, huh? You want to do some bold stuff, huh? Okay.
Yeah, bold stuff.
Yeah. I think you could. The Giants could do that, but they got gun shy, the owners, last year. They spent money. They went over the luxury tax, and it backfired. And
they had a worse record.
Yes, and they had a worse record. And so
I got new shoes because of
them. Jake says, Dan, can I ask you a random sports question for tomorrow? Sure. Go ahead, Jake.
The fight?
Ask away.
Mike Tyson.
And let's see. What else do we got? Lou, you're not Mr. Negative.
It's still very early.
You're fair with your perspective. There you go.
Well, I
like
mean,
that. I like that.
Trust me. Don't worry. Just give it time.
Jake says,
you got to remember, I'm a season ticket holder. I'm very frustrated.
Yeah. Jake says, let's get Teoscar Hernandez. One of the things you guys got to realize is the Giants may want somebody, but does the player want the Giants? The Giants are not a destination place, okay? They're just not. You want to know who the destination places are in baseball? You know what, Lou?
The top 5. We're not even in the top 10.
Ryan, I don't know if he still can hear me in here. Ryan, if you can you type this out in the chat? I think he can hear me. Type out in the banner somewhere. We're going to do our top 5 and post them. Let's do the 5 top destinations for players in Major League Baseball. Number 1 is obvious. It's the Los Angeles Dodgers. Top destination place in baseball. Number 2.
Probably New York Yankees.
New York Yankees. Number 3. Is it the Phillies or the Padres?
Padres, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Okay. Number 3 is the Padres. Number 4, I think it's the Phillies. It's a great place to play. The fans are rabid. Great ballpark. And then number 5, I think it's probably the Mets. What do you think?
Or maybe Boston.
Let me look at my hats behind me. Chicago Cubs are. Let's add a couple more. I think Houston's a destination spot.
Hitters love that little porch.
Probably, Arizona's becoming a destination. Players love to live in Arizona in the off season. I'm telling you, there's a lot of major league players, baseball players that live here in Arizona during the off season. Wouldn't it be nice to just go home on your summer months? You're home with your families more year round. So Arizona is a destination place. It's crazy. Florida could become one if they actually spent the money, but they're cheap in Florida. Why is that? Tampa and Miami are cheap.
It's because all the old people that retire there aren't real fans.
Okay, so
look at Tampa Bay. They lost their ballpark to the Hurricane, and they're playing in the Baltimore Orioles AAA affiliate.
Yeah, Paradise Valley. That's a beautiful place there. Yep, beautiful place.
Beautiful there. Chandler. That's where I lived for a while.
Top 5. So we got Dodgers, Yankees, Padres, Atlanta's another destination place. Mets, Atlanta. I think Atlanta might even be a more destination place than the Mets. What do you think? Or it's right there. It's close. I'll say Mets and then Atlanta, 6. And then 7, Houston. We're changing it to 10. Top 10. 8, the Cubs. Oh, no, let's get Red Sox in there. Red Sox, Cubs, 8, 9. Who's 10th? Toronto?
Did you put Baltimore in there?
No.
Okay, I'm looking behind you. St. Louis.
St. Louis is a good put, but they're down right now.
That's like they get 35,000 a game.
Yeah, Texas Rangers kind of Philip Coppola. Yeah, I was thinking Rangers, but they're getting cheap. They're having trouble because of their TV contract. I'm telling you guys, this is why the Dodgers have such a huge advantage. They have an incredible TV contract.
$7.2 billion.
And other teams are going bankrupt. Their cable contracts are going bankrupt. Look, it's over, guys. We kind of saw it here sadly yesterday. Again, the radio bug bit Tom Tolbert and John Lund, and the creative guy Tony. Can't remember his last name, but radio's done. They are
and
losing.
Satellite radio is better than normal radio.
Yeah,
and then they also have these they have these things that, like my buddy Dan Coach Amelia does, that are taking up all the business at night because people would rather be on the chat than listening to homers.
Yes. Radio's done. TV, regular TV is done. Streaming's taken over. Cable's losing.
Yeah.
Network television is done. Nobody wants, everybody's can just go on to podcasts and, listen, and you can get, TV. You know what TV and radio's disadvantages are? They can't have a Casey Schmidt on for an hour and 45 minutes like we did last night.
Yeah.
And they can't go on Joe Rogan for 3 hours uninterrupted because TV's got and radio's got all these hard breaks to pay for their sponsors.
Yep.
So this is the new world, guys. And why do you think Stephen A. Smith's going on to YouTube? Because he knows that one day ESPN's going to fold, or they're going to cut back. They're not going to be able to afford them.
And they've already cut back a lot of people on ESPN.
Yep. This is the happening place right here, guys. We still remain at our magic number. No, we're at 144 right now, not 146.
But are we getting close to 3,000? Mr. 3,000, Dan Coachimilia?
3,000 hits. When will we get our 3,000th hit and enter the Hall of Fame? Let's take a look at the subs, the live subs for NorCal Sports Network. Let me see. How can I do this? Analytics. Live sub count. You guys want to see this? There is. Guys, let's see if we can make a late push. Can we make a late push tonight? Channel analytics. Hey, let's get the 3,000
close
subs tonight. We're going to get some signed baseballs, brand new Rawlings Major League Baseballs signed by some Giants players, and we will start giving those away. Signed baseballs. 29.66, guys. We're sitting at 29.66. And you know what? Should we give this guy one minute?
Buddy Robert is back.
Robert, my man, yeah. Where is he? Robert
Rothberg. The best pitching. Oh. I don't know what planet Robert is living on, but Soto's not with us. I don't know why you think we're going to have great pitching. We're probably going to have worse.
This is my buddy right here, Robert Boyd. I know you're talking about Robert Rothberg, but this you said my buddy. Yep. This is my buddy right here, Robert Boyd.
There you
buddy.
Go.
All right, he is a member, and he is a mod. He's one of our mods. Robert Boyd. Colorado will pass the Giants. Yeah, they eventually will. I think you will. I know what you meant. Yeah. Robert Rothberg. The roster will be different next year. Well, it is going to be different. Yeah, it's different every year. Ben Bamboo was promised one of Casey's gloves. You know what, guys? Those gloves, I got to tell you, that glove was sweet.
We had two new ones. One was just the, it was badass. And then, of course, I loved your comment. Make sure you don't get traded.
Yes. It was a great show last night.
Oh, it was awesome. Well done, Dan. Well done. And chat, also last night, corresponding, is you guys had some good questions so Dan could ask Casey. I thought that was the key, too. So well done. Sorry, Dan.
No worries. No worries. Hold on here. I'll show you something here in just a moment. Let me see if I can. So what do you guys? I want to know from the chat what you guys think. Who do you think the Giants will sign next year? What players will the Giants sign? Will it be anybody specific? Is it going to be a star, or are they going to just go kind of what I think, Hassan Kim and a couple of pitchers like Flaherty and Kikuchi? What do you guys think? So, do we have anybody commenting on that in the chat?
Mark Graves said something.
Adamas and Bregman. Yeah, he's joking. He's joking. I know, Mark.
Bergman is going to be going to the surprise team of the National League next year, a team that will finish better than the Giants, and that is the Washington Nationals, who I just bet 75-1 to win the National League. I should probably get 150, but 75 is the best I could find.
Who'd you bet to win the National League?
The Washington Nationals.
To win the National League?
That's right.
How much did you bet?
They're going to win their division, just 25.
Oh, division. I thought you said the National League.
No, the National League, 75-1 is the biggest number out there.
Yeah.
I think they're only plus $4 to win their division. They're way up there. I mean, you got to remember C.J. Adams. You know, they got young studs. They got good pitching. They get Bergman. Boy, they're back. I'm just letting you know.
You mean Bregman?
Bregman, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the peanut M&Ms.
Oh, I love peanut M&Ms.
Yeah, and awesome. Snell's not coming back, guys. So you can forget Soto and you can forget Snell. Everybody else is on the table.
Yeah, I think they would have signed Snell if they wanted him back. They did it with Chapman. I mean, right? I mean, he was a Boris client.
And you saw those comments. He didn't want the Giants initially. Just that they didn't get any of their offers, so it was sort of a last-minute deal.
Right.
You know, sorry, guys. Just the facts. You know, he wants to win. If he signs up with the Giants, they're in the same situation they were last year.
Right.
If you were in his shoes, would you sign? You know what I mean, Dan? If you were Soto and you had a chance to go to these other teams, and I told you guys, the rumor is the Dodgers, if they don't get their top pitcher, they're going to take Soto. Imagine the Dodgers with Soto. Oh, my God. That's all we need. Giants would have probably 25 strikeouts when Snell pitches against us.
Right. Hey, you guys want to where'd my comments go here? I lost my comments. What happened to my comments?
George, Snell's not coming back. Sorry. Just the facts.
Hey, did we get this? We didn't get this one yet, did we?
No.
On a bright side, at least we are not the Anaheim Angels. Yes, Coolio 36, you are correct. Thank you for the donation. The super chats are always appreciated. You are correct. At least we're not the Anaheim Angels. And I always forget the guy, Zach Maniason. We're not his brother Perry Maniason's team. Thank goodness for that. That is true. You guys, we talked about giving away, kiddingly, Casey Schmidt's glove, right? We talked about that with getting 5,000 subscribers. If you guys missed the show last night, I'm going to play a little sneak, little clip of Casey Schmidt last night showing his gloves. These gloves are awesome. Watch this, guys. Watch the gloves here.
Yep.
Right here. No, I don't want that. He's going to get his gloves. Here he comes.
So this year I went with something a little different. So this one, there you go.
Ooh.
This one piece. So I wanted to try this one out. So this one's cool. A little harder to hide. 11.5. So I like this one. I'm using this one the most. Yeah. And then I get a little orange web with the orange.
I better not trade you. If they do, it better be Baltimore.
I was about to say.
And then I have this other one. Another one that's with the normal web that I always use. So I just went with a little more orange.
That's cool.
We'll see if I use them this year. I still have the other ones from last year that I really enjoyed. But I think right now this one's probably my favorite.
Look at that glove. Yeah.
Looks good.
So, yeah, some guy you said that's an 11.5.
Yeah. So this one's 11.5, but it feels a little bigger. This one probably feels like a 3/4 to me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that looks. I think I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna have to do, Lou? I think I'm gonna have to go down to Papago, and I might have to play a little catch with him if I can.
Yeah.
Bring my glove. Just don't throw any fastballs to me. Yeah, baby.
Nothing wrong. I'll have to get my mitt. I got in my trunk. Hey, speaking of the Angels, what do you think about the Giants?
Oh wow, we
I
could
know
go
he's
in an hour
always-
and a half.
Damn.
We got to head this show
Yeah.
off.
What about the Giants trade for Mike Trout if he's healthy?
He's not healthy enough for me. He gets too hurt. That's a bad
You think
contract.
so?
And
I'm just thinking of big names. You just brought up the Angels.
Yeah. Bad contract. He's too hurt, too injury prone. He can't stay healthy the last 3-4 years. He's making crazy amount of money, and he's still signed for I don't know how many more years, 7, 8
I think
years.
it's another at least 4, maybe 5 more years. All right.
Oh, you know what? Let me take a look at it, and then we'll close it up here. Let me pull up the salary. We'll go to Cots, and we'll look at.
I always think the Giants got to make a move for a big name. You got to do something. Think outside the box.
You got to have a big name that actually can do something on the field for you. But all right, Mike Trout. I'm going to pull this up here. Give me a couple things I need to.
Or Graves already has it. Mark, you're solid, Daddy-O.
All right, so I'm bringing this up right now. Cots, Angels. Okay, Mike Trout is signed through 2029 at least. I don't know if it goes beyond that because it only shows me 2029.
5 years.
But he's getting $35 million a year for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more years. And it might go even further than that. Does anybody know if it goes past that?
Yeah, Mark Graves says 6 years at 213.
Yeah, so he's 35 times. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not interested in Trout. I mean, I was a couple years ago, but he's just been too hurt. Mark Graves says
I agree. I'm just thinking of, maybe the Angels would pay half the salary or do, you know what I mean? We got to do something.
Well, if they were willing to pay half the salary, I would do it. Absolutely. If the Giants are only going to owe 105 million, 107 million, whatever, for 6 years, now you're talking what? 15, 17, about 17, 18 million a year. 107 divided by 6. Yeah, 17.8. I would only do it if it was something like that. Because you might end up getting 2 or 3 good years out of him, but you might end up blowing 107 million.
Yeah,
but you know what?
I mean, I'm just thinking outside the box. You bring up the Angels, they need help.
You're going to bring up, you can bring up all the wasted monies that Farhan contracts. I bet she wasted over 100 million. Hey, you guys want to see something? You want to see something cool? The new room.
Uh-oh. How much did that cost? $44 from Lou?
Just a little under. Yeah, that might be Lou's donation there. There it is. You should be seeing some shows from when the Warriors, from that background, that backdrop. I want to get some more. I'm going to get some more hats, maybe. I think I need to get, what do you think's better hat to get? NFL hats or NBA? I think it's NFL. What do you think?
Yeah, NBA aren't that great. I'm a visor guy, so I always have my visor. But baseball's got that the bim that's perfect.
George,
you know what I mean?
Hey, what a great comment that is. If he's tearing his hamstring, pulling it in sunny LA, he'll tear it off the bone in San Francisco. That is true, George. So cold, man. I hated playing when it was freezing cold. I'd rather play when it's 100 degrees than it be 45, 50. Seriously. When it's 100,
helmets would be good.
Yeah, mini helmets would be awesome for NFL. Yeah.
The mini helmets, football, where all the players sign them. That's a good call there, Mark, like usual.
Can I hang that up on the wall? Good helmets? Mini helmets? How big are they?
What you could do is get like something like a glass thing, and you put the helmets. Yeah, like a glass shelf, and then put the helmets left to right.
All right, I'll have to get
you have baseball your way, and you have that somewhere else.
Yeah,
and then for hockey, for our hockey fans, you can just put the pucks up with the emblem.
Are we ready to close out the show?
Mark's playing well. Big turnaround.
Very good. And there goes the siren.
Damn, I can't get to mute fast enough.
I can get it for you. You got it. I can. Chardol. We need a poll. Can we get a poll? All right. As long as it takes to put up a poll, guys, it'll be faster if I can get 11 quick votes. Best of 11. Chardol. Let me check my text here. Oh, there we go. Nice helmets. I like that. Thanks, Mark. All right, give me 11 quick votes. We'll take the top 11 votes. Chardol to come in for 1 minute, 2 minutes to close out the show. Just put S for Chardol and put a yes or no. S, yes. Okay, we got one yes. Tom Wyerts, 1-0, Chardol. Be 1-0 with a yes. We got any other ones? We need Ben Bamboo just says S. Philip, yes. Rob, no. Ben Bamboo, 3 yeses, 1 no. For Chardol to join the show to close us out. 3 yeses. We need 7 more votes. You're unmuted, Lou. We need a few more votes. Come on. 11. Maybe we might have to go back. We got another yes. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. And Lou, not sure. Tom Wyerts has already voted, but now he says his dog says yes. Buster, what do you say? Buster's. Hold on here. Don't get my camera back.
As usual, kicking it.
There he is.
Hey,
Buster boy. Come on, Buster.
What's up, Buzz?
Buster, come on over here. Say hello to everybody. Come on. Few more votes. Few more votes. George Curry, I love it. All right, 2 more. You ready, Chardol? You're in the chat. Speak.
Guys, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button for the NorCal Sports Network YouTube channel. And the proud sponsor of the NorCal Sports Network are the Chapman Law Group and Yogurtshack.
There you
and
go.
These gentlemen put out this great content, so make sure to show them some love. They wouldn't be doing this show without all of your support. So if you need to support them, make sure to subscribe to the NorCal Sports Network. And I'm out.
Good job, Chardol.
Man.
Way to go. Mic drop. He's out. Chardol.
SG Sports Talk channel has left the building. I hope you guys have a great night.
You too, Chardal. Thanks for bringing the heat tonight.
Yeah.
Chardal bringing the heat. Look at that. All right.
Oh, it's 9:40.
Well,
He's probably rushing to the yogurt shack to get that late night craving. I understand.
Yeah, late night craving at Yogurt Shack. Get over there in Danville, Lafayette, Yogurt Shack. Thanks to Chapman Law Group again for being a sponsor of the show. Guys, we are almost to 3,000 subs. 3,000 subs. I need about 33 more subs, guys. Come on. Hit that sub button if you haven't hit the sub already. And check out the videos, guys. We're blowing up the videos. Show is hitting. We're putting out content that people want to listen to. Okay. Yes, we're putting out the content people want to hear, and not just locally, guys. Look, we're covering the Giants, guys. We got you covered for the Giants. This is the best show on YouTube, period, when it comes to Giants. We have nailed the Giants.
Agreed.
And we don't hate the Giants. We love the Giants, but we're going to tell it like it is. Yeah. Look, guys, if you love your kids, do you just tell them good stuff all the time, or do you tell them stuff that might keep them out of trouble to protect them? You tell them that's not a good thing to do, or you just let them say, great, do whatever you want. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead. Yeah. Try running across the street over there at 5:00 in the afternoon. Yeah, don't worry about it, Johnny. In fact, do it with your blindfold on. Producer Ryan. Oh gosh. Look, guys. No, we will tell you like it is. Look, all the guys I have on my show, when it comes to baseball host, they played the game. Okay? Played the game. And you don't have to play the game to love baseball or understand baseball. I'm not telling you you do. But if you played it, it does make a difference. Okay? It's kind of like if you're an engineer and you know certain things about engineering, but you actually are an engineer, you know something. If you've been in the military and someone's not in the military and you have opinions on what the military's like, you probably know a little bit more about the military if you're in the military, right? If you're a firefighter and, you're going out there putting out fires, saving people's lives, you probably know a lot more about fires and helping people and CPR than somebody who's never done CPR, right? That's all I'm saying. The guys I have here in Lew and Bora and Los and Cody when he comes on, they add a little extra element, give you a little bit more of analysis of the game because of their experience playing it. So, like I say, you don't have to do it. There's a lot of great people that know baseball very well that never played it. Guys like, a lot of media guys. I can tell you Jeff Passan never played baseball. If he did, the T was taller than him. Yeah. But he knows baseball. But, he also knows baseball more from the inside of what's happening with players. The nuances of the game, we can run circles around him because he can't give you the ins and outs. And this is why I can tell you certain takes that I can see, and Luke can see, and Los can see, and Bora and Cody. We can look at the guys and we can see that it's not ready. Not a prime, not yet prime time player, like Saturday Night Live. So That's all we're
First
saying.
started.
That's all we're saying. So,
And then Dan, I just wanted to say something, guys. I've been a Giant fan all my life. When the Giants won in 2010, I was with 5 buddies. We were in tears because we never thought we'd see a championship. We saw a World Series. All right. We've been spoiled. I want that feeling again. If you guys think I'm bad on this show, some of you guys have been on the show and Dan knows the story, I speak my mind. At the ball game where I got asked to leave in my seats, I went to Tommy's restaurant where I had a Giants pitcher right next to me. I didn't care. I didn't know who he was, but I said how horrible the Giants organization is. And then some idiot there who works for the Giants and then the VP of merchandise who comes up with the horrible things, the Hawaiian shirts that only fit newborns, was there. And he said, with Buster in charge, the Giants are going to win 90 games. I guarantee it. So I said, are you out of your mind? What are you smoking? Pass it around. And I said, why don't we do this? Why don't we bet dinner here at Tommy's? Originally, we did, I'll bet you $500 for charity. And he goes, no, let's just do $180 for food and shots at Tommy's. This guy worked for the Giants, all because of a name, not because of who he had. I mean, that's just the way I am. I mean, trust me, I'm a bigger Giants fan than Niner fan. Giants, every night I watch the games. That's why after the games, it's so much fun to work with Dan on NorCal Sports Network because I've seen it. I get so frustrated, but that's what being a real fan is. And that's what makes this channel. Dan has gone from working with Larry, going on his own. He was working with Eric. He had to make changes, unlike the Giants, because they just wanted to stick with one sport. Now Dan is doing so well. No other place is getting ball players on, former GMs, talking about Niners, talking about Warriors, talking about Giants, talking about free agents. Guys, you guys knew when Farhan got traded, where did you go? You didn't go to KMBR. Dan had a show, boom. It was one of the biggest shows he's ever done. That's what Dan's done. And we're going to keep it like this because we're real. We're not like Homerville, like some of these other guys. And the credit really goes to Dan because Dan took chances doing all these different directions. It could have failed, but it hasn't. And, over the last couple of years, this thing has become a hobby for Dan to now maybe a possible second career. And, it all goes to Dan, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Oh, thank you, Lou. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And I'll say this, yes, when I started this channel, there was, I don't even know if I can find it. I'll have to, Ryan could find it, but I put out a video, my very first video when I started, before I ever went live. I introduced the channel and I talked about the Giants, the Warriors, the 49ers, and maybe even some college sports. That was my original vision and dream for the channel, was to, and that's why I came up with the name NorCal Sports Network. That's why you don't see the name Warriors in it or 49ers or Giants exclusively. It is about NorCal sports. And, when I first started it out, it was really just myself. I was starting it. Eric came along. Eric was originally in the Larry Krueger show. And when I was doing shows on Larry, a couple of solo shows I did because Larry was busy in the afternoon, whether he was with the 49ers, I think. And so I did the solo Giants postgame shows during the summer, a couple of them. And this was back in 2022. Yeah, Larry didn't start till March of 22. So I was doing some post games and you're doing this chat and it's really hard to do it when you're running it by yourself. So the guy who was running Larry's show said, hey, how about if you get somebody to help you out? So I had Eric come on, and Eric was, really good to have on as a side guy, we joked and we called him somebody called him, Larry called him a sidekick. But that's how it all got started, is meeting Eric through Larry's chat. And then when I started my show last year in, what was it, March of 23, I was going to have somebody else kind of help me get it going, but they had some such things come up in their life. They weren't able to, put the time into it. And so Eric jumped in, helped me out, did a great job of, running the show. I mean, as far as the logistics, putting up the thumbnails, putting up the show times, operating a lot of the videos that were put out, and all the creativity stuff, that was Eric, and he did a lot of that. And then this past July, we're only in November. So October, September, August, July, mid-July. About 4 months ago was the last time Eric was here on NorCal Sports, and he decided to go in a different direction. And, Eric was really into baseball, and, he loves the Giants. He loves baseball, and, Eric's a knowledgeable baseball guy. But when he left, we were just doing baseball. I realized I needed to get back to what this channel was originally supposed to be, in my mind, called NorCal Sports Network. I didn't want to be just a Giants show. So we started really working hard, pushing hard to build the other parts of. So if you guys, we know that you love the Giants, and we're going to cover all 162 of the Giants. Okay. And we're going to have a lot of Giant stuff during the off season, but we're also really big on the Golden State Warriors, guys. And we're big into the 49ers, and we're big into sports in general. So anything happening on a national level that affects the Bay Area or doesn't, we're going to be doing that. Okay. We're going to be covering all of the sports. If there's a big story going on with the Dodgers, we're going to bring it to you. And, I'm very passionate, and so is Lou, about sports. And you see Los, he knows a lot, and Bora and Ryan, who produces the show. Ryan is knocking it out of the park for us. So, as he says, we're going to cover the entire Major League Baseball, guys. A lot of baseball happens just around, not just the Giants, but it's all going to be related to the Giants. So it will some way come back to the Giants, because the Giants are, our flagship, so to speak. We're NorCal, right? And so that's what we want to do. And we'll be here for all 162, whether I'm missing a couple games or not, or Lou's missing some, but one of us will be here. Okay. One of us will be here to bring you the post game. And we love the chat, and we love having you guys really bring it. And, it makes the show, you guys' comments. Look, we like to have fun and joke a lot. We haven't done as much joking because we've been focused on real content, but we're going to have fun, guys. We got to have fun. And that is a huge part of this show is having fun. So,
and then, hey, Dan, one of the things I wanted to tell the chat, and you guys don't see this, but behind the scenes, we're trying to do a thing when the Giants are in town and maybe have like a Thursday off or something, where Dan will come up, and, he knows the names, but he's never really met all of us. I mean, I've never met Dan. We've spoken many times, but, it'd be good to hang out where, We were thinking, hey, let's go to a bar, maybe my place, Tommy's, where we can get the back room and just talk ball. Maybe what we could do is maybe, go to a ball game together, all of us. We're trying. And I think one thing what Dan's done, me and Ryan are here locally, but, somebody on the chat says, Dan's in Arizona. How does he have a 707 number? That's because Dan used to live out here. But if you look, Los is down in Arizona. Bora, who you guys see a lot, he's down south. So, you're getting 5 different perspectives on the same thing. Plus, when Dan started this, he had hair. But when you follow the Giants 162 games,
can you imagine?
I'm getting close.
Look what it did.
Dan doesn't want to have just the Giants for 162 games because it doesn't go anywhere when you don't have a winning organization. We're all not like Robert, where, we think, Robert's already put his money in next year on them winning it because he's such a big fan. We try to take you to a level to make sure, we have fun. Trust me, I go to the ball games. I want the Giants to win. When they lose, it's frustrating, but one of the other things we do here, hey, we had a colleague of the show that had a problem. One of his best friends had trouble where unfortunately the guy lost his wife. The guy had a young kid who didn't have insurance. They lost their dog. So me and Dan put our minds together and said, hey, let's do something. And we did an auction where we had squares where you got a chance to go sit in the front row. Stuart, who's on the chat, him and his family, I met him, his wife. We sat front row for a ball game. And it was unbelievable. Heritage, you get excited. We went on the field. It was against the Braves. After the top of the first, the Giants were down 5-0. And our solid pitcher that Robert said was going to be a stud, Mr. Ray, couldn't even get 3 outs. And Dan wrote me and says, boy, Stuart's really excited he donated to go to this game. They're already down 5-0, and Ray was out in the top of the first.
Oh,
but,
man.
You only get that here at NorCal, and we'll probably do it again, too.
Yes, guys. We're going to do some things with some tickets. We're going to do some signed balls by some of the players. We'll get some other things with the players. I have some connections with not just Casey Schmidt. I've got some other, players' numbers in my.
And I'll do this, guys. If I have my tickets and I can't use them, I don't charge friends extra. I just charge what I get them for. So, if I can't use tickets on the show, if you're a member and you're in town, you want to go to a Giants game, my seats are the best in the house. So I'll gladly try to help you guys out. That's sort of what it is, so, you don't get that too much. Plus, like I said, when Dan's up in town, we'll do something together with the chat.
That's probably my most famous.
Ooh, and he wants to trade him. It's because it's business. It's business.
I'm covering up the phone number, obviously.
Yeah, I see it.
You can't see it, all right? The number? Yeah.
Nah, I just see his name.
Yeah.
The guy starts with L and ends with 2 B's.
Yeah.
Or not 2 B's.
So I've got contacts, I don't bug these guys though, if they're look, guys, when I say trade Logan Webb, honestly, I would like them to keep him and go ahead and find some guys and keep him, that would be ideal if you went out and got a Burns and a Freed, so to speak, or a Burns and a Sasaki and kept Webb, and then you went out and got a Santander and an Adames. Okay. Now you're cooking. I don't think that's possible though. So when I say trade Logan Webb, it's not because I want to get rid of Logan Webb. I'm just looking at how do the Giants get better when they don't have any. If I showed you the values, which I have done before, of the team, they don't have anybody with high value. It's Webb over 75 with a surplus, and the next closest is like in the 30s. Okay. And other teams have guys that are 100 plus, lots of people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. So my idea of when I say trade Webb is only because I think it's like trading Matt Williams. You can make your team a contender immediately if you did it. It's just another way. I hope they be a contender with Webb here. My biggest fear is that the Giants don't grow to a competitive team and Webb's here for another 4 years and then leaves in free agency and the Giants didn't make the playoffs and you got nothing. Okay. That's my fear. Now, if they were to go out and get good the next year or two, yeah, Webb becomes even more valuable as a Giant. So, that's my thing. I want them to keep Webb if they're going to go sign other people. But if they're not willing to get better, if they're not willing to really work around the margins, that's how I do it. I would just play the young guys too. Get the young guys playing. And, think Herschel Walker. Look what he did for the Cowboys. What Minnesota, how many draft picks did Minnesota trade?
It was 8. No, it was 8 players, 4 draft picks. And it was 2 number ones each year.
And it made the Cowboys in 2 years Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
Wasn't that when was that trade for Herschel Walker? 80s?
Was it late 80s, like 89 or early 90s?
I'll look it up.
Yeah, but Robert Webb might be in his prime, but the Giants aren't winning with him. We've spoken about this many times. With his starts this year, they had a losing record. It's no good if you have an ace and the team's losing when he pitches. Then he's not an ace.
Check this trade out right here.
Yeah.
Herschel Walker was the largest player trade in the history of the NFL. The deal on October 12th, 1989, centered on sending back Herschel Walker from the Cowboys to the Vikings. Yeah, that's what I had it wrong. I meant the Cowboys trade, including Walker in a transaction involving the trade eventually involved 18 players and draft picks. At the time of the deal, the Cowboys were one of the worst teams in the league, finished 1-15 in 89. Trading away their best player while the Vikings believed that Walker was missing piece they needed to make a Super Bowl run. Thus, Minnesota originally felt that they got the better end of the deal and said the Cowboys used the draft picks and acquired in this trade to get the players they needed to help them win 3 Super Bowls in the early 90s, guys. They won the Super Bowl in 92 and 3 and 5. 92, 93, 95. Just a couple short years later. That's what you're supposed to do. Who brought that idea? Was it Philip that said the Walker trade?
Philip.
Yeah, Philip. There it is right in front of my face. Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I'm talking about, guys. The Giants, if you're not ready to compete, you can't keep going free agent unless you're willing to do it every year and spend $250 plus a year in payroll to $300 like the Dodgers, and you don't care about the tax.
Well, like the Padres, and they still haven't won the ring yet.
Right. Still hasn't worked. Robert says trading Webb doesn't guarantee you get better. Well, keeping him doesn't guarantee. Look at the Padres. They haven't won it, and they've traded and traded and traded. But, guys, it works a lot of the times. It really does. You buy low, sell high. Webb's very valuable. He's one of the top pitchers in baseball. He's the 18th rated player in the baseball trade values of surplus, meaning of value. He's the 18th most valuable player to have on a club. That means he's good, and he's young, and he's got a good contract. So that's why you look at that. But if the Giants see the mistake the Giants made, guys, I'm gonna get a little pissed off right now. Break my web.
Break
Web
that
jam.
in.
Watch I miss it and go boom and break the whole screen. And
Yep.
here's what pissed me off about the Giants. I told you guys in 23 and 24 they're going to be no good. I told you they were not a 500 team both seasons. I got ridiculed by some of you in the chat, and you said, "Oh, Dan, they're going to be good. They're going to be good." I told you they're not ready to win. Okay? And why I'm mad is because they didn't develop the young guys and let them get major league experience. I'm talking 400 to 500 at bats a year for Luis Matos, for Casey Schmidt, for Fitzgerald, for Ramos. We saw what Ramos did when he got his at bats. Look, imagine if Matos had been playing a lot the last 2 years. He'd be so much better going into 25. Same with Casey Schmidt. Now, if you had just 4 of those guys, how about Fitzgerald, Matos, Ramos, and Schmidt? I'm not even counting Luciano because he needed to play too. Imagine if he got to play. And then you got Bailey, and then you got Chapman, then you got Lee. Now you're just missing a couple little pieces.
And that's at the trade deadline. If we would have traded guys we knew weren't going to come back, we would have that crew.
Exactly, like Rodon and Snell.
Snell this year. You knew he wasn't coming back.
Yeah. They didn't do it. They didn't trade him, and we told you they weren't going to make it. And some of you didn't believe us.
My bankroll knew too this year. I told you. That's guys. What's great about this is, guys, in March, we'll tell you who we like and why, and then we'll hold our grounds. And when we're wrong, I mean, right now, I'm wrong about the Warriors, but it's a long season. But during the baseball season, the Giants would start off 5-1, and people would get all excited saying, "Dan, you have no clue what you're doing. I don't even know what I'm listening." And all Dan said is, "Guys, just give it a week." And then what happened a week later? We were back to 500. Sorry, Dan. This is exactly what we talked about. This is what, and again, this Sabian might have been GM, for 2 months when he made the trade? 3 months because he knew he couldn't sign both. I mean, this was a big thing in San Francisco.
Yep. How did I get his number? He gave it to me. I don't. It's like he gave it to me in spring training because I was going to have him on my show. Let's see. Somebody asked earlier, why is Bora a fan in here it is. Why is Bora a Giants fan? He's from the city. He lives right smack in the middle of San Francisco in Russian Hill? Russian Hill, yeah. I think what it is, when you're born and raised in San Francisco, the Giants are still your number one team. The Niners are still you're still a big fan of the Niners, but growing up being a Giants fan, going to Candlestick, taking Muni, doing all this, I mean, the Giants are in your blood. That's why when the Niners win it, we're excited. But when the Giants won their first World Series, I mean, this city was beyond crazy. Good point, Lou. Great point.
And most Niner fans are from the burbs. They're not from San Francisco. San Francisco, it's a Giants town. I'm from
the burb. Yeah, I'm Concord. I'm 40. But I'll tell you what. I took my 65 Mustang as a 16-year-old over to Candlestick many times, flying through the Caldecott Tunnel.
66 Mustang California Special?
65.
Oh, 65. Okay.
65 white Mustang with the top and the portholes. Yeah.
And Dan,
no, that was a Thunderbird. That was a Thunderbird. 55 Thunderbird.
Okay, I'm sorry. And Dan, when you went to Candlestick, I mean, I went to many games. I don't know if I ever told you the story, another crazy story. My senior year, I went to 80 out of 81 home games.
Oh, my goodness, Lou.
80 out of 81. Because of my high school,
hold on, wait.
I played basketball, but the last 3 months of the season, I only missed one. The last 3 months of the season, we had study hall, and I could leave, and I'd go because, I had season tickets, and you also had club parking, so I'd park right by the ballpark. everyone knew me because I used to be a big Celtic fan. So if I had extra tickets, all the scalpers would run over me. Hey, man, help me out. That was just growing up. But Giants, when the Giants are in contention, every bar has the logos up. They have the banners. I mean, people are crazy for the Giants, and that's why it's so frustrating right now. We've only had one winning season. Season tickets have dropped, and the ballpark is still fantastic. But when you don't put a winning product, who cares about the ballpark? It's not that good. The ballpark rocks. Candlestick rocked. But we may never, ever see it like it was, 2010, 2012, 2014. Oh, yeah, Mark, the scalpers and the sweats. Trust me, I knew them all. The number one guy out there, his name was Tiny. A mean son of a bitch. But he screwed me over in an Ozzy Osbourne concert. And
Lou,
then he came to me, and I never gave it to him again.
I'm taking the bow to Lou.
80 out of 81 games, guys.
80 of 81. What year was that, Lou?
That was 1985.
Okay, so you were out there in the 100-loss season, and so
the only game they sold out beside opening day was a Sunday with the Reds.
You were out there. You were out there one day with 700 people.
I was. That was against the San Diego Padres, 793 at Candlestick, the smallest crowd ever.
Exactly, 793. Oh, my goodness. Did you get a foul ball that day, I hope?
Well, what I used to do is the batting practice was a little bit different back then. The ball games would start at 7:05 or 7:15, unless it was a half-price doubleheader. They used to remember the half-price nights doubleheaders occasionally during the week. But I'd go out there, and there'd maybe be 20 guys. And down at Candlestick, down the left field line, I would actually bring my glove, and I could actually lean over because the way it was set up, it was actually more of a football stadium. I could actually lean over all the way. So any foul ball that was down the line, I would get because my glove I could put on the field. You know what I mean? So my legs were up, and I'd go down. I probably, one year, I think the record, I got 287 foul balls. Now, out of that, 275 were just batting practice balls. I'd go down, probably get 10 or 15 a game. There was nobody else around. So
I'm muted. Look at that. Look at that. And we got 163 in the chat combined. And then as I say it, it goes to 160 and then it goes back up. Yeah. So it bounces around. But guys, we're popping some numbers here. We got a lot of people that watch us on X. If you people over on X, we love having you be part of our show. I know it's, easier. If you would do us a favor, it would really make us feel really grateful. Okay, that's a good word. We'd be really grateful if you would just hop over to the YouTube. Maybe we can, I don't know how we can do it, put the link to the YouTube in the chat, but we would love if you guys would just come over and subscribe. If you come over to YouTube and subscribe, we're going to be giving prizes away, but we cannot do it through, you have to be in the YouTube as a subscriber. I've got the old Cleveland Indians hat. We got to give that out here.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that soon. Here it is. Still sitting right here. Look at this, guys.
Ooh.
Chief Wahoo. We want to give this out. Let's give this out. We'll have to figure out how we're going to do it. We'll create maybe we'll do that in the next night or two show. I want to get this delivered to somebody. Look, it's still got the sticker in there. Brand new. I put it on my head once or twice, but I don't have any hair, so there's no lice.
Dan, what I'll do too is like when I go to the Super Bowl for work, I'll bring back some merch that we can give away.
Okay.
For the Super Bowl, I go to the Masters every year where I get Master flags. We'll start giving away anytime. And if like I said, if I go to a Giant game and we can do something unique, you know, I'll always try to help you guys out. And all I meant, George, is, yeah, there are a lot of Niner fans, but people born and raised in San Francisco. That's what I meant. There's a lot more Giants fan than Niner fans. Most of the Niner fans were just saying in San Francisco, you were sort of born and raised being a Giants fan. You know, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, the Bay Area fans are great. But, you know, the question was, why does Bora like the Giants? You know, growing up, remember, a lot of us maybe just didn't play football. When you're young, it's hard to play football. Sometimes your parents won't let you play. But baseball, I played in Cub Scouts, which was softball. And then, you know, I played in Flame. I played in CYO. You know, Dan brings up wiffle ball. We all did that, you know, in summer camps and stuff. You know, it was easier to play. Plus, you got to remember, football, you know, and I'll be right up front, being a Caucasian, it's tough to do football because maybe we're not the fastest compared to other people. Baseball, we always have a shot, you know, and baseball is very unique. It's a special bond.
Yeah, baseball, I tell you, you're right about being in the city, San Francisco. San Francisco is the city itself is diehard Giants. And that's why, like you said, the 2010 parade, the crazy, you know, of that. And, you know, the Giants have had a history. They've been here since 58. The Niners were here first at Kezar. And where did they play somewhere else before Kezar? Or
no, Kezar was the first place.
Okay. So I think, when did they come to was it 1950? When did the Niners come to San Francisco? I always thought it was 1950. First year. That was 1946. That's right. 46. Now I remember. Yeah. 1946. Thanks, Tom. Yeah, I just looked it up.
And they were the All-American Football Conference. So it wasn't the NFL until it merged 3 years later.
Yeah. So anyway.
And you got to remember why the Niners played at Kezar. The Giants, when they moved out here, first of all, the New York Giants were huge. You know, if you guys ever want to see something incredible, back in New York, they literally were all 3/4 of a mile away. Where Ebbets Field, where the Dodgers played, New York, where the New York Giants played, you could actually see them that close. And then, of course, Yankee Stadium. And where, depending where you lived in New York, you could only like one of the three. I mean, the rivalry was amazing. And they all had superstars there. I mean, of course, the Yankees dominated. But when the Dodgers and Giants came out to the West Coast, the Giants actually played at Seal Stadium, which was downtown at the time. Kezar was sort of out in the outer sunset. That's where all the local men would go. And back then, why it was such a big sport, remember, football was only on Sunday. They had all day games at Seal Stadium. They didn't have lights. And baseball was, you know, back then, you know, as Dan's favorite show was on, NFL wasn't even on live for a while. We would only
and the NBA used to have in the 80s the
NBA Finals at night, 11:30 at night, tape delay.
Tape delay. Yeah,
you know?
It wasn't
and
until Magic.
The greatest thing ever happened.
Magic and Bird
for baseball.
What's that?
This Week in Baseball. Twin Notes.
Done
with Mel Allen.
I love that. I love Mel Allen. This Twib Notes, and over in San Francisco, things are happening. What a great voice. Yeah.
Mel Allen.
Yeah, that was baseball's America's pastime. Yeah. It really is. It's baseball, hot dogs, and what is it? Chevrolet. What is it? Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. Yeah, you think about it. Baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. It was in, you know, you look back in the wars in, you know, World War II, it was like, it was what got people through, was just going to baseball games. And yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The great special on PBS a lot, Ken Burns, in case you guys don't know who Ken Burns is. Amazing how big baseball was during the war when they came back. And, you got to remember back then, the biggest superstars in the world went to war. They left Major League Baseball to go to war. All the big ones, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, they all went and served.
Yeah.
All for what we had.
Yep. So, guys, what a show. We really appreciate the chat, man. You guys,
it goes quick, especially with a good chat going. Good. And
guys,
if there's ever a topic you guys want to talk about, let us know.
Let's do this one night. I like what Philip's saying. Brent Musburger. I liked Brent Musburger.
I was a fan of Phyllis George, Miss
Phyllis
USA.
George, yes.
And Irv Cross.
Yeah, Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek. She was Miss USA?
Texas, and then she was Miss USA.
Miss USA, yeah.
Yeah.
Phyllis George. Yeah. Yep.
Gorgeous.
We're gonna have to do. Let's do a show coming up where we talk about top announcers of all time. Yeah, top national, sportscasters.
And then Dan, is it possible if we bring them up where we can actually do a video so people can hear them?
We could. Yeah, we could do it on a live.
Like a lot of people might not know who Mel Allen is and what Twin Note is.
Yeah, we could do that. We just won't get monetized, but it's okay. We can have a little fun with that. I'll have we'll work it out and we'll do
we all know who Lon Simmons is, because he's local, but you guys might not know some of these great guys outside. I mean, a lot of people think Harry Carey's great because he was so different, but people forget he originally started with the Chicago White Sox. He wasn't always the Cubs announcer.
Maybe we could do some all-time sports calls too. We could play.
Oh yeah, I love that. And then we can have our vote. After we watch it and talk about it, people can vote.
Yeah. I still think the Vin Scully calls, his Kirk Gibson call was unbelievable. I thought that
Ozzie Smith, you'll never hit one bigger.
Yeah, I thought you mean Kirk Gibson or
no, when Ozzie Smith hit one in the playoffs. I think he only hit like 15 the whole major league career, and one of them was.
I don't remember that call.
The walk off.
How about I thought Joe Buck? No, not Joe Buck. What's the son's name? Yeah, it is Joe Buck. What am I thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking of the old man.
Jack Buck's the dad.
Jack Buck,
yeah. I thought Joe Buck's call when Ishikawa hit the home run to put the Giants in the World Series was an all-time call. And a lot of people didn't like that call. In fact, we'll play that call one night. We'll just pick a night. I don't want to blow this one, but we'll do a whole night coming up, guys. And we'll put together calls. I thought Dave Fleming's radio call for the home run this year.
You were telling me.
On Freddie Freeman. I think that's a Hall of Fame call that's going to go down in the ages for one of the greatest all-time calls, a walk-off grand slam. Yeah, the Jack Clark one was off Tom Niedenfuer. Yep. Yeah, that was the one that Clark hit at Dodger Stadium. I was so pumped up, Lou. I can't remember exactly where I was at that time.
And I loved it because remember, they were all day games, the playoffs.
Yes. I just went crazy like the Giants had won the
Jack
pennant.
Buck, the Ozzy's homer. There you go, 1985.
Yeah. It got me so pumped up. That was Jack Buck. He had that deep voice, raspy, a little rasp in it. Jack, we're going to have to pull that up.
We'll do an all-defensive team. Unfortunately, Dan, one of my favorite players growing up, he, of course, dominated the Giants, hit the farthest foul ball ever at Candlestick. He almost hit it out of the stadium. He hit it 2 rows from the top in section 29, which was right to the right of the foul pole. But the Cobra, Dave Parker's not doing well, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
He's got Parkinson. He's got cancer. So
I'll have to
out
tell you,
to one of the all-time greats. People don't know. If you guys wanted to see an all-around player, Dave Parker was unbelievable.
Did I tell you I
It's over.
interviewed Dave? Did I tell you I interviewed Dave Parker as an 18-year-old in the Pirates
No,
clubhouse?
was he huge back then?
Oh yeah, I'll have to tell you guys a story. It was hilarious. I mean, actually, I'll tell it now, but I shouldn't. I'm going to have to get a little bit go against my my own standards of not cursing, but I'm just going to quote the guy. Okay. I go in to the I go into the locker room, and this is 1980. In fact, this is the ball right here. The day I was at the game, this ball was.
Who was it signed by? Who was the?
See the date 5/15/80. I'm going to graduate from high school on like June 10th. Okay, we went to school till June. I caught this ball off the bat of Willie McCovey. Don Robinson was the pitcher for the Pirates.
Pirates, sure.
And the results of the game was it's kind of fading. Pirates
3-2.
Giants 2, 12 innings. I need to write that a little better. 12 innings. Check it out. Yeah, I was 18, Mark. Yep, I was Mark. Let me show you let me just make sure I have my facts right. Just to double check on this. I'm pretty sure. Okay, SF Giants 1980 results. Okay, we'll look up Wikipedia. We'll go to Wikipedia here. I think it's the 12th inning. I know the score and everything was right. I just can't read it very good. Can you see this?
Yep.
Wait a minute. I want the results. Regular season. What are you doing, Buster? Where's the results of the game? They usually put them on here. What's going on? Major League debut, pitching, regular. What the heck?
1980. Is that when they had Kent DeColvey, Candelaria?
Yeah, John Candelaria. Yeah, it was.
Man.
Come on, where's the stinking result? All right, hold on here. This is
Lacey.
Oh, I know what I did. I went to the wrong one. I needed to go to Baseball Almanac, not Wikipedia. That's why. Let me get rid of that. It's baseball.
So was Parker like when was We Are Family? 78, right?
79.
79. So it was the year after.
All right, here's the skip. May 15th. I said it was 3-2 and 12 innings. May 15th. There it is.
There it is.
And let me pull
Giants
up
a whopping 11-22.
I should be able to pull up the box score here. There it is. Box score. Can you see it?
Yep.
How many innings is that? 3, 6, 9, 12
there's
innings.
Don Robinson, the pitcher.
Yeah, 12 innings.
The same Don Robinson when the Giants won and Will Clark went crazy down in San Diego. He was our pitcher back then.
See what McCovey did that day for the Giants. 1 for 5. Yeah. But check. Let me tell you the story because the story's hilarious.
How many people do they have? How big was the attendance on a Wednesday game there? 77,000 maybe.
Let me look here. It's off the screen. It was 7,781.
The usual.
Yeah. John McSherry behind the plate.
Oh yeah.
Charlie Williams at third base. Remember him? Jack Clark was in the lineup. Okay, so I go into the manager of the Giants that year was Dave Bristol. I go into the locker room. I've got a press credential from Clayton Valley High School, where I went to high school. We had a radio station called KVHS. And I was the sports director. And so I did little sports shows off the ticker. I'd get the AP wire. It would be coming through like a ticker, and I'd be pulling the news. And, I do a little 5-minute little wrap-up sports show. The next year when I graduated high school and I was in local junior college, I went back and did the live football games and basketball games for Clayton Valley. So,
and then back then, the only way you could get sports was really KCBS on the 15 and 45 would have a sports report. Nobody else really did during the day.
Right. So here's my story. I go in to visit I get into the locker room, and I'm seeing I go into the Giants locker room, and Dave Bristol says, "Hey, have a seat," right in his office. And nice guy, I got my little Panasonic tape recorder where you got to push 2 buttons, play and record at the same time. Yeah. And I wish I could find
your little microphone that's connected.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm thinking, man, I'm a real reporter here, and I'm thinking, I wish I that cassette is somewhere. I have no idea. So I go into the Giants loss. I interview Greg Minton, and he's really cool. Moonman says, "Hey, want a beer?" And I'm like 18. I go, I got to drive back, nah. So, but anyway, really cool dude. And then I go over to the Pirates locker room. I can't remember which one I did first. I might've went to the Pirates. I can't remember, but I go to the Pirates locker room, and they've got a really big spread. It was like a long table, and it was submarine sandwich. That's what it was. That I don't know what they do now. They probably bring in
chef or something.
Yeah, they probably bring in catered food that's hot and stuff. But this was just a big long sandwich, and I'm not too. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay. I'm staying away from the showers. I don't want to go watch these guys shower.
Yeah.
So I go over to the locker room where Dave Parker's at. And I'm like, he's got a big towel wrapped around him, Probably wasn't the best time to talk to him, but I'm 18, I'm dumb.
You got to go for it.
But I wanted to talk to Dave. I was like, oh, that's Dave Parker. I said, hey, Dave, you got a few minutes? This is what he said to me. No, right now, man, it's all hot. My cock's sweaty. Exact quote. I'll never forget it. Real high voice. Not right now, man. It's all hot. I'm really hot. My cock's sweaty. Just like,
you
thanks,
tried,
Dave.
you failed.
That was the quote, and it's been embedded in me for over 45 years. That exact quote. I still hear him say it. It's just hilarious. I was just like, well, thanks for the extra information, Dave.
Of course.
So that was it. But guys, we're going to end.
The Cobra now has Parkinson. He has cancer. He's not doing good. He needs assistance.
That's too bad. I got it.
But he was one of the great ones. And what we'll do, Dan, is we'll come by and we'll do different things, different nights, especially, when it gets slow. But like your favorite Giant players growing up, favorite players watching on TV.
Yeah.
We'll do, a lot of people back then, guys, before ESPN, they had great nicknames, Candyman, Candelaria was fantastic. Still the only guy to ever throw a no-hitter on Monday Night Baseball. Before there was Monday Night Football, Monday Night Baseball was the show on Monday. Just one of those things. It was awesome. We'll talk about Mel Allen and Twim Notes this week in baseball. And then the baseball bunch with Johnny Bench. And, just great shows growing up.
Yes. Phillips
McSherry was the one. Yeah, he died.
He was the one that died. Opening day.
Yeah.
I think. Wasn't it opening day?
Yeah. And back then, guys, I don't know if you remember, National League had the same umpires. So you had National League, American League. So you knew which ones were there. You knew what they looked like. You know, I mean, I used to hate Big Fat Joe West. He hated the Giants. We never got a call. But that's because you saw them. I think there was probably, maybe 24 to 30 refs. So you saw the same guys usually on a homestand. You know, they'd work here and then they'd work the A's games. And, you know, it was part of the union. So you knew who they were.
Oh, man, I'm reading this thing. This is sad. On April 1st, 1996, the Cincinnati Reds and Montreal Expos were playing an opening day game, and McSherry was the home plate umpire. 7 pitches into the game, McSherry called a timeout, spoke briefly with Reds catcher Eddie Tabanese, then walked toward the tunnel behind home plate that leads to the umpire's dressing room. Stumbled forward and collapsed face first onto the warning track in front of the tunnel door. Resuscitative efforts were begun on McSherry, and he was taken to the University Hospital in Cincinnati, but was pronounced dead on arrival. He was 51 years old. Because third base umpire Tom Hallion, we've heard Tom Hallion on here, had followed the ambulance to the hospital, it left the remaining 2 umpires, Steve Ripley and Jerry Crawford, to decide whether to proceed with the game. Shaken and tearful players on both teams consoled the grieving umpires, and the umpires decided to postpone the game. Reds manager Ray Knight recalled a comment from shortstop Barry Larkin. Barry told me very quietly with very much emotion, "Ray, I've had a lot of deaths in my family. In good conscience, out of respect for life, I can't go out there." Wow. I would play the video, but we've gone this far.
No.
I'll save it for a night when we're not going to get any monetization. We'll just play a bunch of stuff.
That's Mark. That was my favorite umpire because of what he did on the strike calls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you can hear it vocally so loud.
I sat at a table when I was working in Bakersfield as a manager for a healthcare company. It was a dinner, and Doug Harvey was at my table.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he told me some crazy stories of some of the guys. Pretty funny. Earl Weaver
Those
stories.
umpires, when you make it to the major league, you make bank. And part of the thing is they had the same per diem as the ball players.
Yeah.
Which I think was $20 for breakfast, $50 for lunch, and like $250 at night you get for dinner when you're traveling.
Yeah. Awesome.
No, good times.
Yeah. Well, guys, thank you for my thing's not working there. There we go.
Great show. And then tomorrow, another
Warriors team. So we'll have some fun with this. Guys, we'll do some Giants stuff that is it's too difficult the off season to talk about the same thing over and over and over again ad nauseum. You guys want us to talk about every night what the Giants should do? There's just, let's bring in some interesting stuff. Let's bring in, like Lou's talking about, who's your favorite announcers. Let's listen to some announcers' calls, favorite players growing up, all kinds of different things. So we'll have some interactive shows. Maybe we'll open it up for the chat to come in and tell their stories. We got a good chat here. So guys, thanks for joining. Watch for our videos. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Again, watch for our videos that are coming out. Turn on your notifications bell. Guys, I know you watch the lives. If you watch our videos, they're shorter. They're like 10 minutes, sometimes 8 minutes, sometimes 18 minutes. Anywhere between 8 and 18 minutes. Watch them and then comment on them. And, we can't get to everybody's comments in the chat all the time, but we try to get to those comments and in the shows. But they really help out when you watch those videos, man. We got one out with Ned Coletti that's pushing 9,000 views right now.
And then don't forget our sponsors. We wouldn't be here without the chat and our sponsors. Our great sponsors.
Absolutely. Chapman Law Group and Yogurtshack, we thank them. And we definitely thank you guys for being part of NorCal Sports Network. a big, giant thank you to you. We will see you tomorrow. Take care. Have a good Friday, everybody.